All right, y'all. Here we go again, and today we got a life coach, brother Tony Gaskins. We got the life coach, and he says there's 5 things a woman shouldn't tell a man up front. There's 5 things that he says that a woman shouldn't tell a man up front. I disagree with him on most of them, but I will explain as we go along. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this video. I'm going to ask Tony if he wants to discuss it with me. I'm sure it probably won't even. I mean, guy's got 500,000 subscribers. He probably gets a ton of emails. He probably won't get to mine, but I will ask him to come over and discuss it with me and see if we can come to a resolution on thinking. But I, for now, disagree with him on most of this list. Anyway, let's take a look at this is life coach brother Tony Gaskins, and he's telling women there's 5 things they shouldn't tell a man up front.
You should never tell a man. Now, this topic comes from the research on the YouTube studio where it says this is a question being asked, so that's why I'm addressing it. Next thing I want you to understand is I don't have anything written down, so I'm talking to you from my heart. So we might not get to 5, we might get 10. That's another thing. And also, this is just the title of the video, but I'm gonna speak to you holistically. Now, what you should never tell a man is, one, you never tell a man about your trauma. You take your trauma to a therapist. You go to a
Okay. He says never tell a man about your trauma, right? I disagree with that. Why? What, Clarence? Why you disagree with that? That's good advice, Clarence. Just don't tell him. Now, let's do the mathematics. What's the purpose of not telling a person about the trauma that you've been through? Well, Clarence, I don't want him. If I tell him what I've been through, he might leave. Yeah, he might leave for his own safety, right? Right? Can't blame a person for looking out for their own safety. Do you understand? You can't blame a person for looking out for their own safety. And if you got things that, and what you're doing is you're by withholding certain information. I'm not saying you got to tell everything, but there's certain information that may affect the relationship and what's going on in this relationship. That's trauma. That trauma that may affect how you act in this relationship. That may need to be, that could explain a lot, right? A man could say, oh, you've been through this experience. Oh, okay, that's probably why you're doing this. And he can have more understanding. Or not. Who knows? But to hide things that may affect the relationship, you got to tell your whole life story. But things that's going to definitely affect this relationship, the man should know, just like the woman should know. You're going to hide your criminal history from the woman that you trying to be involved with, and then you go to buy a house or you go do something and your criminal history comes up and it can't happen, right? Then what? You don't want to do if you really care about somebody, why would you do that to them? I say that if you have traumas that you know may affect the relationship, that's stuff that you should tell this man. You should tell him. Yeah, there's a reason why I'm not having sex. I haven't had sex in 10 years. There's a reason why I was assaulted. Or you should tell somebody. Maybe they won't stay with you, but at least you told them. Right? There's a reason why I ain't been working in 10 years. I've been incarcerated. Yeah, maybe they won't stay with you, but at least you told them. Right? All right. So Tony says don't say anything about your trauma, right? Had the other person just running around saying, what the hell is wrong with this girl, right? Or what the hell is wrong with this dude? Don't say anything, right? I don't know if he has the same advice for men, but this is his advice for women. Don't say anything. All right, let's continue.
Therapist, if you need life coaching in addition to...
Now, life coaching is not going to help you with trauma. If you have trauma, you either need to figure it out for yourself or get a licensed therapist on that case. If you can't do it on your own, get a professional. A life coach is not a person that can help you with therapy. Therapy is way different than life coaching. Oh man, Tone, you're not doing too good right now, brother. You know what I'm saying? You're not telling them the truth, man. You got to tell them the truth. All right, and I also agree, and I do agree with him on going to see a therapist. If you have trauma that you just can't figure it out on your own, you can't get over it on your own, you can't make your life get better on your own, then the next step should probably be to get some professional help. At least try getting professional help, right? I mean, what you got to lose? You already tried on your own and you can't do it, right? Some people can forge through trauma on their own, right? Some people can do it, through religion, through whatever. They can just forge through it on their own. They're able to recalibrate themselves through that trauma. But a lot of people can't do it on their own, and they need professional help. And professional help for people with trauma is not life coaching. No. Life coaching is, in my opinion, okay, this is my opinion. Life coaching is for people that want a certain outcome, and it's not a trauma that's stopping them, but it's some other trivial reason that's stopping them, right? That they can, if they just had some support, it would help them through it. Very light support. You can't replace therapy with life coaching. In my opinion, those two things are not the same, but that's just me. Anyway, let us move forward with Mr. Gaskins. Says, don't tell your traumas.
To therapy to do something else, like write a book or something, if your therapist can't do that with you. But you do not take your trauma, your pain, your past experiences, things you've gone through in the dark, things you went through as a child, you don't take that to a man. And when we say don't tell a man, what this really means is you're not telling a boyfriend. You're not telling someone that you're not going to spend the rest of your life with. And you don't know you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody until you're married.
Ooh. No, bruh. There's some things you need to tell. If they're going to affect the current relationship, there's some things you need to tell. Right? I'm not saying you got to tell everything, but if it's going to affect the relationship, then you need to tell it. If you're still having trouble in your life based on this trauma, then you need to tell it. Imagine finding out on your wedding night that your husband, is currently fighting some ARP charges, right? I mean, that's something you should know, pretty early in the situation. Or that the woman you going out with has a secret Spidey life where they're running around 304, right? By day, they're a librarian. By night, they're all over the road out there, right? These are things you need to know, man. You need to know some of this stuff. And I disagree, man. That's the reason why people are getting in such bad relationships, because they're getting bad advice about relationships, right? And I mean, no disrespect to this brother, man, but I just think you know, he's just crunching it out the way he see it, but you got people's lives on the line here, man. People listen to you, man. They go out here and they do what you say, and then they're gonna tear their whole life apart. So you got to be honest with them. Tell them the truth. At least if they tear their life up with the truth, that blood ain't on your hands. But if you out here telling them stuff, just this is the way I think about it, and so I'm saying that this is the way it should be. No. So far, I'm like, man, I don't know. This kind of advice, man, I don't see the benefits in it. But okay, so far, Brother Gaskin says, hey, don't tell. All right, I agree with him about going to therapy, but I agree with him on don't not telling everything, right? You don't have to tell every little detail. Oh, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. I mean, you got time to tell everybody that every little detail, but things that's going to affect the relationship, yeah, you need to tell. By the way, I'm HIV positive. This is stuff you need to tell people up front, man, so they know I got this condition. I've been through this experience, and I'm still trying to work through it to have a healthy relationship. See, but the way this man is talking, like, hey, don't say nothing. Just keep fronting until you get to the wedding night, and then that's when you drop everything on somebody. No. I totally disagree with that. And the reason why he's saying it, in my opinion, but I'm gonna invite him out to explain. But the reason why he's saying it, in my opinion, is so that you won't run somebody off. But maybe that person need to get ran off because you got some issues that you need to deal with. And why burden somebody who wasn't in the market to be burdened with somebody else's drama? Why burden that person? I mean, if you really care about them. Anyway, let's continue.
And it's on the right track and it's going the right way. And even then, it's not a guarantee. And I want you to understand that as a man, yes, a man will try to force a woman to tell him everything. But as men, we learn how to accept what we are told when it is told to us. Meaning, I've been married for over 16 years and I'm still learning about incidents that happened in my wife's life, be it an eviction or something deeper. And at this point, it's not like I'm going to say, I'm leaving you because you didn't tell me you were evicted as a child X amount of times before ninth grade, or you were almost hit by a car, or you were bullied in high school. I'm just making up topics, not speaking directly about my wife for people who be nosy, but help you understand, when a man loves a woman, he will accept and receive her. The issue with telling a man your trauma too early and telling a man that's not going to be your man, that's not your husband, your trauma is he will judge you by it, and he may also use it against you. Now, yes, there are men who are great.
I feel like this, man. People gonna do what they're gonna do, and it's better. And I feel like this. It's better to see up front how somebody's gonna be than to try to reel them in and then spring something on them. That is very manipulative. Very manipulative. I think if you really want to make something work with somebody, I think you should tell them the truth as much as you can up front. I don't think that you should, especially things that's going to affect that person's your relationship with that person. I think you should tell them up front. I don't think you should beat around the bush with them and hide stuff because you think they're gonna judge you. If they judge you, they judge you. Obviously, they're not the right person for you, right? If they judging you, right? But this type of thinking process promotes has an air of desperation in it. That why should you be that desperate where you can't be honest with someone because you want to hold on to a man, or a woman. That's crazy. If you tell them, they run, right? Oh, Clarence, that's easy for you to say. It is, because I'm at peace with myself. If everybody in my life left me today, I'm at peace with myself. I don't really want anything but love from people, and most people don't know how to love you. They really don't. So I get my love from the creator of the universe. I can appreciate I see his love for me in the butterfly's wings. I see his love for me in a flower that comes up. I see his love for me in a raindrop that may fall, a sun ray that may hit my face. I see my eyes are open and I can see his love in many different forms, so I can appreciate that. So I can reciprocate that love by constantly trying to pray and thank him for what he's doing and trying to show my thankfulness for what he's done for me. So I get that love there. Now, if I have my family that gives me love as well, but if they was to just say, well, we gonna leave you because we don't like what you doing. We don't like what you saying. If they was to roll, they would roll. I'm not no super hard G. Of course, I would be upset. I hurt. But I would be more hurt if the creator of the universe had a problem with me. That would really, if he decides to leave, now I got a real issue. With his help, I can get the family back, or I can get the new family. But if I drop him to go get the family, can they help me get another creator of the universe? I don't think so. So I'm always going to put, and when I add up who's done the most for me, it's obvious. It's obvious. Even bringing them into my lives, that all came through him. So I have to keep everything at the right level of priority, right? But the point is, I love myself. I love myself, and I love the relationship I have. And so any other human being that wants to leave, hey, that's on them. It's their loss, right? That's how I look at it. But I'm not looking at it like, hey, well, you know what? I got to keep manipulating them to stay. For what? I'm an old man, I don't want to do nothing but ride my little mini bikes, ride my motorcycles, sit with my granddaughter, play games, you know what I'm saying? You know, talk a little mess every now and then, man. And that's it, really. My main focus is trying to help these young men not make the same mistakes I made, right? The ones that want to listen. But what's my point? What is your point, Clarence? My point is, you have to love yourself enough to say, if I tell somebody something about me and they leave, then that's on them. That's on them. It's not no big deal. Okay, so they go. People come and people go. No big deal, right? Well, you understand, Clarence, I love this man. I love him. I can't let him leave. I can't tell him that I'm 304. Okay, just either stop 304 or tell the man. Why you gone all hours of the night you working? Right? Remember Jamie Foxx show? The Jamie Foxx show when Braxton was dating that nurse, and she was always working, right? I can't get it. Why? She works at the trauma center. And they found out the trauma center was a strip club, right? Yeah, the Chopper Center was a strip club. That's why she wasn't ever around, because she was a stripper, right? But she just told him up front he could have been able to decide what he wanted to do. Probably would have walked out. Most men ain't got the balls. Not the balls. Excuse me. They don't have a stomach to deal with a stripper, right? It takes stomach. It takes a different kind of stomach to deal with a stripper, right? You want to date somebody, a woman that's out there basically in the streets, but she wants some support. That takes a different kind of dude, right? The average dude ain't set up to do that. The average dude wants a woman that's gonna, come home and be there with him and just be there with just him. And that's not a thing. That's something women make that to be like that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's like you want a man to pay your bill, take care of you and your family. That's not a bad thing. We get all caught up in our heads. Man, anyway, I got a little bit off the subject, but the subject is, hey, don't be scared to tell people stuff, because if they leave, they leave. If they leave, they leave. They leave, they leave. If they judge you, they judge you. There's only one judge I'm worried about. I'm not worried about nobody else judging me based on stuff I did in the past. I did it in the past. I done it. Hey, I was what do you call that? Possessed at the time. I did some stuff that it was just way out of alignment to the kind of person I am today. But I can't say I didn't do it. I did do it. Just wasn't in my right mind when I did it, but oh well. I ain't gonna let nobody put that on me and say, well, Clint, you since you did that, you a bad person. I'm not a bad person. I'm a better person today than I ever been. Don't let people hold stuff against you, man. Don't. That's stupid. Don't do it. If a person if a person want to hold stuff against you, something that you did from your past that you are no longer involved with, they want to hold that against you or hold that over your head. They're not the right person for you anyway. They're not the right person for you anyway. Oh, Clarence, but he looks so good. He's so handsome. And his body is chiseled. Oh my God, he's so good. He's 6'5". He's so tall. I know. Well, then go on and be with the man. Let the man hold hold that over your head then. I'm trying to tell you how to be happy. I'm trying to tell you how to be happy, man. Be happy with yourself first. You have to be happy with yourself. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I like that person. I wouldn't mind kicking it with that person. But most of us look in the mirrors and we can't even stand ourselves, but then we get mad when other people don't want to hang around us. Stupidest thing in the world. All right, let's get back to Tony. Tony says, don't tell the person that you're trying to sexually select that you have trauma.
Great with this type of stuff, but that man is 1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 100. So take your trauma to a professional and do the work there. The next thing you never want to tell a man is how many men you have slept with. The reason being is because a man will never tell a woman.
Die position went extremely well. I felt
How many women he has slept with.
That's a stupid reason for not telling a man how many men you slept with. Now, I say this. I wouldn't. I have to kind of think that one over. My current position on that is I don't think anybody should discuss past sexual partners. I don't think you should really discuss that, right? The only way, listen to me good. Listen to me good. The only way past sexual partners should come up is if you are, you see in this person behavior that makes you question whether they're have some 3 or 4-ish ways, right? You see them the current behavior,